Cinderwench.
Dirty Ella.
Cinderella.
Obviously, every girl wants to be a princess. I mean, ever since you're a kid, and a Disney princess and Cinderella, it's too much to really even believe, even though we're halfway through filming and it's all happening. Obviously, that idea of being a princess is just magical. And then on top of that, actually working on the film with Ken and with everyone, the essence of who she is, and that's like a dream role too, because she's so special and kind and unique, and so just playing her, regardless of the fact that she's been a princess, has been a real dream.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Are you all right?
I'm all right, but you've nearly frightened the life out of him.
Who?
The stag.
But we're hunting, you see. That's what's done.
Just because it's what's done doesn't mean it's what should be done.
You're right. Everyone has a very strong idea of what Prince Charming is, and I'm sure lots of people have a very strong idea of what their Prince Charming is, but we've stayed away from that, and he's never actually referred to as Prince Charming. He's just referred to as a prince. So I tried to get rid of that element that comes with what came in the cartoon and just take the script for what it was and the prince for who he is, and worked very closely with Ken leading up to starting filming on who this young man was and what his background was. And in the cartoon, that you don't really know very much about the prince until you actually see him. Whereas in this version, we learn that he's been at war for 5 years, he's seen a few things, he's lived a very different life to what you would consider just the Prince Charming version of the different type of Disney films. He's a much more intricate, interesting character.
They're all looking at you.
Believe me, they're all looking at you.
The thing that I think the script caught that was interesting and different was Cinderella's spirit, but in a contemporary way that made her goodness very strong and warm and witty. And anything that you might have worried about being sort of precious or too period or too classical or too removed or too traditional, that seemed to be dealt with in a very light way. So the film script had delicacy, and it seemed as though they were interested in trying to find that tone throughout the whole of its execution.
Ella, I almost forgot. Remember, the magic will only last so long. With the last echo of the last bell, at the last stroke of midnight, the spell will be broken, and all will return to what it was before.
Midnight.
Midnight. I mean, I start off as an old lady, as an old beggar woman, and it took them longer to make me look like the fairy godmother in her young look than it took to make me look old. It took me 4 hours to look about 1,000 years old. It takes me about 5 hours to look like fairy godmother.
I have to see her again.
Are you looking for this?
I'm a great lover of fairy tales. I grew up on them, and I read them constantly to my children, even though I've got 3 boys. You know, I've still read them Cinderella and Beauty and the Beast and Snow White. I think I love fairy tales, and Cinderella in particular, because they deal with really complex issues that face children, but often in quite confronting ways. And so many stories that children get told now, I think, are always trying to avoid sadness, avoid conflict, make them feel like they're a hero that doesn't necessarily, you know, they can overcome anything and the world is a perfect place. And the great thing about, you know, those wonderful old timeless fairy tales like Cinderella is that they say that the world can be a nasty place out there, and you need a lot of courage and you need a lot of resilience, and you will fall down before you stand up.